I don't know how to make a video like this. I don't even know how to start a video like this because I normally don't make videos like these, especially ones containing such serious subject matter and very big real world problems. I normally start my videos with a big loud high five on the top of the morning and screaming at you, but I felt like that would be disrespectful and inappropriate for this type of video. And it wouldn't make me be taken seriously, which I really want people to actually listen to what I have to say in this video, rather than just blowing me off as another loud YouTuber who doesn't know what I'm talking about or who just screams at things. I'm talking about, of course, the whole Felix, Disney, Nazis, anti-Semitic debacle that's been going on. I don't really know what to call it because it's been called so many different things, but you know what I'm talking about. You know the subject that I'm talking about. And I want to preface this by saying I'm not monetizing this video. I'm not making this video to ride a bandwagon or to ride a trend or because everybody else is making videos about this. I'm making this because I feel like I have something to add to it, or at least I want to get my thoughts out. And there's a lot of people who follow me who really want to know my opinion on this. And I feel like I kind of owe it to them as well to clear up some things, because there's a lot of misunderstanding and there's a lot of vagueness that went on online, especially with some tweets that I sent to Felix. And a lot of people are unsure of my stance on things. I also apologize if there's a lot of jump cuts. I know that kind of, again, goes against my seriousness of this. But I feel like if I just talk in, like I normally do, I talk in run-on sentences all the time. You know, I ramble so much that I want to make sure that I get my actual thoughts across and that I don't go into nothing. I don't start talking and rambling and get no point across, because that's not going to help anything. I might as well have not made the video at all then if I'm going to be vague. A lot of people are confused because when Felix was tweeting out about this, I sent him a tweet showing support towards him. And a lot of people thought that that was me being a sympathizer to Nazis, to being a sympathizer to anti-Semitism, which I think is a bit ridiculous, a bit unfair, and it's a bit too much of a concrete statement to make based around just one tweet that I made. So I wanted to make this to try and clear some of that up. And the first thing I want to say is that I do not condone what happened. I do not condone these types of jokes. I do not condone the type of message that it was sending or any sort of hate speech, any sort of belittling of minorities, races, religions, anything like that. I've said this in my videos before, that I try to be as accepting as possible of people. And I know that a lot of people thought that my tweet then was very contradictory to what I always say, but I think there's a lot more to it. I don't think the world is that black and white. I think what Felix did was very stupid. I think it was a very moronic thing to do. I don't think, whether it was in context or not, that's a lot of contention that people have with the joke that he made, and that's what it always comes back to. It's like, well, in context, it's just a joke. And that flies to a certain degree. But when you're dealing with that type of joke, I think it gets a lot more serious. I don't think you can just brush it off as just a joke or that the context matters. I think it's a broader thing because people can take that joke out of context and then that can send a very bad message, or it can seem to promote different things. And then that gets very bad. It gets very blurry then. So I think there's a bigger discussion to be had around that type of joke. I get what Felix was going for in his video. That he was trying to show how ridiculous the Fiverr website could be and how much you could push things with $5. I get that. I don't think that this was the way to do it. I think this was handled very poorly. I don't think that that was the type of joke that should have been made to show that, or at the very least, he should have made it abundantly clear exactly what the intention was. Exactly how sorry he was after that joke was made in that video. Because it's not very clear. It's kind of up in the air. The style of editing that Felix goes for and everything, it's very much a shock humor type of thing, and then the point wasn't made clear at the end, and then people are talking about that it's satire and that it's a joke, but again, the jokes are supposed to like come around to a point, and I don't think that point was made. I think it was very much throw out a shock joke and then see what happens, and I don't think that was the right way about going around how to prove how ridiculous Fiverr is. I know Felix very well in my personal life. I've known him for a while now. We're pretty good friends. And I know for a fact that he's not a Nazi. I know for a fact that he's not an anti-Semitic person. Again, this doesn't excuse what he did. I'm just trying to, like, for the people who are asking, is he a Nazi or not? I'm trying to say, no, he's not. 100% in his real life, he's not like that. He made some stupid jokes that completely backfired on him. And he's paying the repercussions for that. which I think when you make jokes like that, you should be prepared to pay the consequences. But Felix himself as an actual person is decent. He is a good guy. There's been times when I've gone to him in my personal life over things that have like got me down or really bothered me, and at like 2 a.m. I've messaged him and he's messaged back and actually talked me through it, gave me some solid advice. He's a good dude. He's a good guy, and he has good intentions. He just he likes that type of humor a bit too much, and sometimes he likes to push boundaries a bit too much, and this one went too far. He's admitted that it went too far. He's apologized for that. He understands that it went too far, and he says he's not going to do it again, which I'm glad he said that. Because I think in all of this, we should learn, grow, and evolve as people. And as YouTubers, we should all take a lesson from this as well, is that no, you can't just say what you want and get away with it. Which I've always been a firm believer of anyway. But this is a clear message like, no, there are consequences for what you do. And I can still be friends with someone and not agree with some of their actions that they do. I don't think that the world is that black and white where you can just be like, he did a wrong thing. He's your friend. Stop being friends with him. If you're friends with him, you're an anti-Semitic sympathizer. I don't think it's that cut and dry. As I said, you can have friends and you don't have to agree with absolutely everything that they do. And a lot of people are asking as well, do I think it was right that what Disney did to cut ties with him? And yeah, I think that's fair game. He made some really bad jokes. Disney being who they are and the type of branding that they have and the sort of family-friendly image that they have, I think it makes perfect sense for them to cut ties with Felix. I'm surprised they didn't cut ties with him sooner, based around the jokes that he's always been making. So in that regard, as a business decision, I don't disagree with that. I think Disney did what was appropriate for what happened. When it comes to YouTube, it's a bit more blurry because they dropped season 2 of Scare PewDiePie, which for me personally was a heavy blow because I had a very large part to play in that season. I was like half of the actual season. It was going to be a me versus Felix head-to-head type of show. So personally, it's sad to see all that work. Having seen all the work that went into it, it's very sad to see all of that go away. All the people who put their hours into it, all the people who were involved in it to just suddenly be dropped like that is very sad. And I don't think they're wrong to do it, so to speak, because again, if they can drop whatever they like. If they don't like what Felix is doing, they're well within the rights to actually just drop the show. Again, you make a bad joke, you suffer, or you will suffer the consequences here and there. And I think Felix knows that. He's very remorseful about that. He is very sad that like these projects are all gone and that a lot more people were affected by it than just him. Because in the past when he's made these jokes, I think it came down to the backlash affecting just him. So he was fine with that. He took it in his stride and he went along with it. But when it affected a lot more people than just him this time, I think it really hit home for him how serious this was. As for the Wall Street Journal who broke this story, I don't think they're wrong to actually break the story. They're doing what they do. They're reporting on stuff that's going on in the world. I think they handled it poorly. I think a lot of the ways they went around stuff was a bit bad. Some of the videos they showed, not all the videos, some of the videos they showed were a bit out of context. They were a bit put in there to kind of like fit the mold. Some of the stuff they used had very good points. Some of the stuff they said had very good points and I agree with them. Other things, not so much. And it's come out as well that maybe they hadn't gone to Felix first. They went to Disney and YouTube about it. In their article, they said Felix had no comment on it. But Felix himself has said that they didn't go to him before the actual story broke. Then after it broke and he put up his response video, they went to his personal address and knocked on his door and asked him for comment to give him a platform to defend himself, which I wholeheartedly do not agree with. If you don't go to him first, don't go to him after. Especially don't go to him after at his home address after he's already been on his own platform to defend himself. And then you come to him and say, we're giving you a platform to defend yourself. It's very, very messy. And again, I think that could have been handled a lot better. That's what this situation comes down to. Everything could have been handled a lot better. Felix's video, I think maybe he shouldn't have edited that joke in. I don't condone the joke he made. I think he's sorry for what he did. I believe him. And he's going to work off that and try and become a better person, which I have respect for. So those are basically my thoughts. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with what I said. I don't know if that made things better or worse for some people. That's life, I guess. You can't please everyone. And if I'm wrong in some of these things, I'm fully open to discussion on these things. I'm not saying what I'm saying is absolutely right. I'm just giving my thoughts on it. I'm fully willing to grow and learn as a person myself, and to like, again, open up this discussion, because I do think that this is a very serious topic, especially in the current world climate that we're in. There seems to be a rise of this sort of hate speech again, and it's very, very scary to be part of. So I think that, again, the jokes came at a very, very bad time. I don't think that this should turn into a witch hunt. That a lot of people wanted Felix to apologize. He did. And then people are still out for blood. I don't think that this is the way to go about it. I don't think it should be a YouTubers versus media either. I think that that's very misguided. It's almost childish in a way to think that it's us versus them. I don't think that that gets anywhere. I don't think that this furthers anything other than making more arguments, making more points of contention around a lot of stuff. It makes people not be taken seriously. And I think there's bigger fights that we should all band together in as people to fight, instead of fighting over the semantics of whether this was right or wrong. Like, everyone has different opinions on this. I think we should be fighting towards a better cause as just bloody humans in general. Just as a species, we should be better. I'm starting to see how much of an impact jokes can have on people if they're not done properly. There's a reason that, like, professional comedians can say certain things and not get as much flack for it, because they usually have a point to make. It usually comes back to something, and they're usually making fun of something one way or another. So I think that this was a very amateur attempt at dark comedy, as Felix's own admitted words are. So I don't really know how to end this video. I'm going to be... I'm curious to see the reaction that people are going to have to this, and I'm sorry that it went on so long, but as I said, it was a serious topic, and I needed to talk openly about it. But that's all I have to say. I'm not going to do my regular outro because, again, I think it kind of takes away from this. I want people to take this video a bit more seriously than just a regular old Jacksepticeye lol scream kind of video. So, thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing what people have to say. Bye.